SDRs, like I think those who can do SDRs, they have the hardest job. They face the most amount of rejection. They kind of depend on a lot of different factors so that they can get paid in terms of
quality of leads coming in. It's
yeah, like, is it when I set up the appointment, or is it when we close the deal? Because if we close the deal, now I'm dependent on the customer, dependent on the salesperson, dependent on the SE to all do their jobs. And also it's basically just doing calls all day long, whether it's email or phone calls. And a lot of people come and ask me like, hey, I'm looking to get into sales engineering. Should I go into BDR first? I'm like, it's a different skill set. I mean,
yes,
you won't need it as much as a sales engineer. I mean, it's good to have the ability to be able to walk up to anybody and talk, but you might hate it. And you might not get into sales or sales engineer because like, oh, I hate sales in general. So what are your thoughts around that? Would you recommend people do that job if their end goal is to be a sales engineer?
To be honest, it's a difficult one. I think you learn a lot of people skills doing SDR and cold calling. I think you probably grow quite a resilience in exactly what you said, rejection handling. Objection handling is something we very often have to do, how to kickstart a conversation, how to moderate one, how to catch people's interest, how to keep them engaged. I think that is a very valuable skill set. And at the same time, I really like, I know this is going to sound a bit awkward now, but not so much great talkers, but good listeners in our profession. I like even the person who's quiet, but asks the right questions at the right time that show me that they're really following a customer process, that they can dig deep and actually make the customer unveil the pain point, and then really use this knowledge as part of the discovery process and the demonstration process in answering some of those open questions. I think that's really something I would look at when I would recommend somebody coming into a sales engineering role. I think something we often oversee is the business acumen and the business analysis skills. Being able to talk business and understand processes in depth, and if there's a roadblock to resolve it by asking deeper questions.
Right. Okay, a couple questions that came up right now. Would being an SDR, would that help you with that deep? I don't know. Would it help you with the deep questioning part? Because I find them a little bit more shallow because they don't have the full knowledge of the product behind them.
I agree with you on that one. I think it's for us, I think it's as organizations, it's incredibly important to onboard SDRs in a way that they're comfortable talking the product on a very high level, that they have very sharp discovery skills in going through a lead qualification process and really understanding if this lead is worth bringing it to a demo stage. I think that's also part of our responsibility as a joint sales revenue organization to make sure that this happens. But to be honest, I don't think it is a skill set I would have on my top rank before becoming a sales engineer.
And so can people bypass becoming an SDR and go straight into sales engineering? Is it part of their path, or they're just going an extra detour to get to sales engineering?
Well, look at me. I kind of fell into this profession, so I would not rule it out. If somebody is talented and really wants to get into this field, and they come with various backgrounds, why not?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Then now the question comes up, like, you made it. Were you the only BDR in the industry in Germany or South Africa? Like, my point is, why did they reach out to you specifically? What made you stand out, and why did they offer you the job? If you know why.
I do think I know why. I think one is that my profile probably checked a few boxes. I think when searching, A, was the industry. Probably the second probably is that our company is incredibly international. So run out of the US, but with a great presence in EMEA and in AP. I think what we often underestimate is you need someone who can speak business internally to a lot of US stakeholders, also language-wise. but still understands some of the specialities about the EMEA market. You know, it's not an easy market for sales engineering because we have different languages. We have completely different markets in one little geographical zone that have very strict different requirements. So I think probably the intercultural, international language component, strong communicator, presentation skills, maybe that's something. Again, I think the university I went to, I figured out later that quite a few individuals at this company have attended this university, and actually through those university touch points got to know about our software, which is why, again, as a technology provider, going into universities and being one of the providers who share their knowledge for the industry is probably a good source of talent recruitment at some point.